tooth number you working on?
Number 6.
What are we doing today?
Composite.
They're recording right now. They have no idea.
So there's traditional way you're gonna put a wedge in, right guys? Well, today I'm gonna do a composite without a wedge. I'm gonna give you the reasons why and the reason why I choose not to do it. So the reason why I like to do number 6 without the wedge is because when I condense my my composite, I'm gonna condense very little at a time, and once I fill it all the way to the top, on the lingual side, you're gonna notice that with your finger, you're gonna put it as tight as you can. So right there already, you're getting all the material into the box, and you're sealing the box while you're tightening it. Like so, right now I'm doing this, right? Let's say I had filled it right there. It's already should be filled and tightened on all the margins and on the box. Everything should be filled, right? Now after that, you're gonna come and with this side, you're going to wrap it around, and then once you wrap it around, you're gonna come in and hold it right there. So it's a 2 technique. You can call it a double whammy, 2 technique, whatever you like. It's just basically holding the mylar strip together as tight as you can. Basically, I call it hold it with your life. Like basically, do not let that go, because if you let this go, you're gonna open up. You're gonna have a void. You could have bubbles. You can have a lot of things. You can have extra flash that you don't want. The reason why I'm stretching it out and holding it tight is because after you fill it, what's gonna happen is the extra composite that you're gonna put in, which should be very little to minimum, is just gonna flow, and it's just gonna be like glass. That flash is gonna be a little piece of glass, and it's gonna flick off. That's what we want. Perfect filling, no adjustments needed. That's what we want. And I mean, you're gonna have some that are gonna overfill. It's gonna be bulky, and we're gonna show you how to tackle that too. But we want you to do the less adjustments.
And the reason why, like when you're pulling it, it's almost like you're just shaping the whole filling itself when you're doing it like that too.
Exactly.
Huh?
I'm
So
holding
you're
it
not
real
having to make
tight. I'm
adjustments.
exactly. I'm holding it real tight, just like that. Just like that. So now let's take a look at the filling. Okay. This is a nice little bigger box than the last one. Okay. Not bad. You want to have enough right in the middle of a mylar strip from the lingual to the facial, so when you go in, you can have enough room to tighten it. Okay. So I always like to put a little bit of flowable or wet resin, whatever you're using, on my hand, so you can use your instrument and have it to place so it can be wet while you're, condensing, or where you're using the composite side to make it nice and smooth. So whichever you like to use it, it's good for everything. And if you do want to use a wedge, everyone's gonna have their own preference. So what I do is I snip the wedge. This one was already snipped, and the reason why I snip it is because if you are gonna use a wedge, you'll be placing it
Did you snip the sharp edge
Yes.
of the...
Yes. And the reason why is because if you are going to use a wedge, and the reason why people use a wedge is so you don't have an open box, so that the mylar strip could be against the prep, right? So if you're to do what I did, now I cut the sharp end. So now if you're going to do the technique that I want to show you guys, and that's the technique that I want you guys to do. If you guys do other techniques, that's fine, but for right now, this is a pretty good technique. So the reason why is because if I was to come in this way, you poke yourself, or it's too bulky and you won't make it flush to the prep, and you won't be able to do the whole concept is to make that flow on the margin and on the prep, so you don't have any voids or anything. Whichever way you want to do it, though. So that's the reason why I'm not going to use a wedge for this one, because there's already a contact. It's already a nice contact. So I use a little bit of composite, and very little. I depends whichever way. You can put a little bit of wet resin right away. You can do it later. Might as well just do it right away, right?
So you're kind of
So
like
you're
mixing. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You're mixing the flowable with the packable.
I'm not mixing it.
No, bueno,
I'm just getting it wet. Just like
Doesn't stick.
so it doesn't stick. Perfect.
Okay.
You don't want to use a primer?
Just composite or a wet resin. I mean a flowable or a wet resin. That's all you have to use. Just to make so it doesn't stick on your instrument. The purpose is so it doesn't stick on your instrument.
And just to clarify, we have assumed that we already did etching, we already bond.
Yes.
This is literally just a place.
This is a state board right here. You're not gonna bond it. You're not gonna etch in the state board. This
Oh,
is,
really?
Okay. You prefer us to dispense excess out opposed to using the new gun directly and packing the composite that way?
of course, because if you do that, you're gonna bulk it up, and it's gonna be too much flash, too much everything.
Okay.
Before there wasn't always capsules. When I first started, there was only tubes, you guys.
And it was like a big syringes, right? Big
And you
syringes that
stood
you
there all day
just
like this.
Twist.
Yes,
She was so annoying.
I know. It's better. So the legal side would be more bigger than the facial, right? The opening
The
for the
prep.
prep. Sorry.
Will the prep look the way that you have, Jose, or will it actually break through the facial aspect of the tooth, or is it only going to be a DL?
1 second.
Or
I feel
NL?
like it breaks through the facial because one of my friends took the EF2 and I was her patient, so she was my coworker. So she would practice her amalgams and her composites every day during lunch, just like this. And I want to say on number 6 that she did it on, you can clearly see the 2 little composites on each side, mesial and facial.
It's only one surface on the
I think she tried both just to make sure because she didn't know which side she would be tested on, kind of thing. Where it's like, oh, if I'm going to do an MORD, I'll just do an MOD just in case. But I clearly remember seeing it on the facial aspect of it. In fact, they still have the Type It On at the office. I should go pick that up on Tuesday and bring it in next time.
I hope it's like, MOJ, So what are you doing right now? Somebody else's you're cleaning the excess?
Yeah, I don't want that much excess because then it's harder to it's harder to
There we go.
it's harder. Hold on, sorry. So the reason why I try to remove as much excess as I can is because the more extra material, the harder it is to adjust.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna come back in here. I'm gonna squeeze it, come in, and I'm gonna hold that right there, tying it. Is it right?
Don't try this at home.
Cure it, and that's it. That's it.
I was just going to think that right now.
Right? And then a little bit of adjustment. You come in this. You can come in whichever way. Whichever way. Just try to get in there. Angle to get into where you filled it. Okay. Lingual también.
Don't do it. Don't look until we had a doctor get that.
And then you can even wrap it around. Wrap it around. You see how I put the curing light right above the mylar strip, and I came in through the facial just to get in there, just in case it didn't cure. Then I'm gonna come in again, come in lingually.
And then when you see it, your eyes want to
Literally has shots in his
Yeah.
eyes. I'm good. That's all you tell me. I will never look at that like ever. I won't lie.
And that's it. That's the concept. Anything else, you're gonna get it through experience. And I'm not saying that after you're gonna adjust, you're gonna use the green one, the yellow one, the white one, and you're gonna adjust
I have one
it.
in my trunk in case somebody needs it.
If you have a
It's
lot
old
of
school
extra
one,
bulk,
just in case we get separated into
I'm gonna teach you how to use. I'm gonna teach you guys how to use disc and everything, but for the board, I'd rather
You
not.
really don't want to have
You don't want to. You really don't want to. You really want it to get.
You want to be able to polish and
You
go.
really want it to come out just like that after you're done. No adjustments needed. This one, we'll see how it comes out. You never know. Let's take a look. Huh?
I know where this is. So the stable prep is what just needed me here. So just a little conservative.
And go to Lubes and everything.